So last time I spoke, I told you all the story of my sacred Himalayan journal that I had brought with me to Nepal. I told the story how I kept asking it that one question over and over. Why? Why Nepal? Why do I keep coming back here? And in the end, it whispered to me and told me that the answer was never anything meant to be revealed all at once, but over time, in little bits and pieces. And since then, over the past 20 years, I've been back to Nepal 3 times. And tonight, I want to share with you 3 of those little bits and pieces. She was tall, strikingly beautiful, bold and sculpted, yet quite feminine and petite, with chiseled facial features that could strike through clouds like a blade. And around her neck she wears the dablam, the mother's necklace, not meant to be a jewel, but as the gatekeeper between beauty and peril. And her name is Amma Dablam. From the moment I first laid eyes on this mountain many years ago, something became instilled deep within inside me that told me my life would not be complete on this earth unless I one day stood on top of her. And 4 years ago, that day had finally come, only I failed. I took this picture after we had gotten back down, just as I turned my back on the mountain for the last time. It was hard to swallow. All those years of training, all the smaller peaks that I had climbed in my heart just as preparation for her. I'd climbed through nearly all the difficult sections, all the way up to about right here, right below that gatekeeper. What happens is every once in a while, a piece of it breaks off and avalanches down. But when I got below it, something deep inside, I don't know what it was, told me that the gate had already closed for the day. And whatever it was, it turned me around. And I immediately regretted it. Still do. The hardest part was having to explain it over and over again on the way down, what happened. And there was this one woman who, when I told her, she laughed right in my face and gave me this look, the look that only she could give. And I just chuckled back because I knew she was right. It was this woman, right here, Mama-san, as I called her. She runs a lodge in a small village at the base of Amma Dablam, where I was returning to after spending the good part of the week before recovering from some illness. And she very graciously nursed me back to health. She was kind and she had a quiet dignity to her. As I sat there and watched her care for me, my heart just could not help but go out to her, as I saw how she struggled to manage that lodge with no one but her young son there to help, one who probably had to forego getting a quality education in Kathmandu to stay home and look after his mother in that village. And the reason why she had no one to look after her was because her husband was a Sherpa guide who had years earlier died on Amma Dablam when part of that gatekeeper broke off and avalanched down. Which is why I wasn't angry with her when she laughed at me. Because this widow had earned my respect. To her, I was nothing more than another wealthy American adventure tourist, scratching off another trophy on their bucket list. Climbing something they wouldn't even be climbing if it weren't for men like her husband, which is why she was right. Men like that. Men like this. This was my team on that expedition. This is Pemba, my head Sherpa in Cedar, been with me all 3 times. Tenzing, second Sherpa, twice with me. Mingmo, twice with me. Geljan and Pasang, just that one time. And there's me in the middle, the only Westerner. I always chose to go on these things alone with just these men, as opposed to some big group or organized tour. I like the intimacy of a small team. And the interesting thing is, apart from Pemba and maybe a little Tenzing, no one speaks any English. Yet somehow we all still communicate, not through words, but through trust, through quiet observation, out there, away from all the distractions, away from the noise, away from cell service. There's nothing but the wind, the mountains, and silence. And in that silence, we became brothers. This mountain, she taught me that there's more to life than just getting to the top and standing there all alone. This widow taught me that life isn't about trophies, but rather the endurance and resiliency we carry through it. And these men taught me about common brotherhood. It needs no words. At home, I have a wall going up the steps with about 100 little photos, just like these. Each one its own memory, its own little part in the larger picture. And someday, when I'm looking back upon my life, I know now that it won't be about any one summit that made it complete, but rather the collection of these little bits and pieces. So let me ask you all something. Someday when you're looking back upon the walls of your own lives, what little bits and pieces will have made yours complete? Thank you.